How's it going, YouTube? Oxy here, and welcome back. So, being the 30th as a release of this video, a day before Halloween, thought I'd talk about why Friday the 13th, Part 7, A New Blood, is the best film in the franchise.
What?
And I know, you might be thinking, how? Like, you would think, oh, the first one, right? Or, I don't know, maybe like Part 4, the final chapter. That one's held in pretty high regard. But no, I'm here to tell you, my opinions why 7 is the best. So again, it's all subjective, like what you like. But yeah, so here I got my 8 movie collection. Friday the 13th came out in like 2017. I don't remember if I got it out for like eBay or I bought it at a retailer like Best Buy. But yeah, it brings the first 8 films, DVD, so no Blu-ray, nothing like that, but comes with a ton of extras like deleted scenes, audio tracks, commentary tracks, and yeah, it brings a lot. And so this is how I saw Part 7, and yeah, so basic plot synopsis, right, like basic overview, because, I do think you should check out the film. As the director said himself, it's basically Carrie versus the Terminator. In the movie, our main lead girl is Tina, and she's a telepath, right? She has like telekinetic abilities, and yeah, she, traumatized by the death of her father. And again, this isn't major spoilers, like literally the beginning of the film. It's in the trailer. And yeah, and of course Jason is brought back, and he is the Terminator in the sense, right? The unkillable monster, right? That he gets up, he comes back. And yeah, it's a great film. I think it's really cool because it breaks the mold, With a lot of slasher films now, and even, at the time, this was part 7 of the series. It was already cliche, right? A killer goes out and kills a group of teens, right? Horny teenagers who are pretty under-equipped to even attempt to fight back. But in this film, Jason really meets his match. And that's what I appreciate. Again, being the 7th film, you would think, oh, they're just gonna, this is like beating a dead horse at this point. But no, I genuinely like it. Like, it's, she fights back. And Jason does get, like, beat down in this film. Like, he really gets put through the ringer. And that's the other thing. This is the first appearance of the legend himself, Kane Hodder, playing Jason for the first time. And of course, he's, up to now, he is still has the highest amount of portrayals of Jason, being at 4 now. And yeah, this is his first appearance, and it's a welcome one. Admittedly, he's not as tall or imposing as, like, let's say, like, Part 3 or Part 4, but he makes up for in just, like, the stunt work. Seriously, just grade A, top quality stuff. You have him, like, falling down stairs. He's on fire, and let me remind you, he did all his own stunts, and yes, that is Kane Hodder in suit, actually on fire in that scene. Yeah, just phenomenal effects work all around. Like, seriously, like near the end where it's the big battle, right? The one-on-one. It's really great. Like, you just see the house get torn up, and yeah, I won't talk about the ending, but just check it out. It's really great. And yeah, I just appreciate the film for that, trying something different, evolving the character. Because in Part 6, he was already the zombie, right? Like, the more supernatural. Because before then, it was just a guy, right? Like, just a regular old guy who keeps getting back up. But here, it's like, we're well into the zombie, undead Jason. And yeah, it's a continuation. But again, like, the effects are phenomenal. The suit, like, Part 7 might be my favorite Jason look, just for the fact that he got, like, he's been under submerged, right? Like, he drowned in Part 6, and he's got, like, the messed up clothing. You could see his, like, bones, like, his spine, his ribs are exposed. Like, I love that. The mask is like, this film, the original mask is destroyed, right? Because in part 8 he gets a new one. It's like got the crack, you could see a bit of his mouth. It's got the cut mark from, all the way back from part 3. And yeah, like, it's really great work. And what I love, unlike Michael Myers, who's too afraid to show his face, you actually see Jason's face. Like, he is unmasked in this film. Like, he has been before, but what I mean is that, like, he goes for a longer period of time without the mask. And I love that. Again, it's like character development, for a maniac killer, but still, like, I appreciate that. And again, the effects were phenomenal. Like, the face is, like, truly, like, you really believe that's, like, a zombie. Like, just some gross stuff. Yeah. There are cons. I mean, admittedly, it's a slasher film, so no, this isn't like, the greatest storytelling. It's pretty simple, And I guess the biggest one is the kills, which you could argue is the most important thing about a film like this, is that, of course, the MPAA at the time were really cracking down on violence and that sort of thing. So a lot of the kills are, like, pretty, like, off-screen, if you will. Like, yeah, you do see some. You will see slashes, but most will be, like, let's say Jason has object, he stabs person, it's like a cutaway, and then it cuts back to, like, the aftermath, right? Like, the blood and all that. And, yeah, again, it's the MPAA's fault. They were really cracking down. And on this itself, it has the deleted scenes for Part 7, so you can actually see what some of the kills were supposed to look like. Like, the doctor character, he's, like, the one trying to help Tina, deal with the trauma of, like, what happened. And you want to see him die. Like, they do a good job of setting him up as, like, an asshole. And, you're like, oh, I want this guy killed. And admittedly, it's underwhelming payoff. And, like, in the deleted scenes, it's, like, pretty great stuff. But, yeah, I guess that's just my thing, guys. It's just, it breaks the formula. And if you're looking for something different, you want some entertainment, like, it's pretty great, It's only an hour and a half, 90 minutes. That's, like, the usual runtime for the Friday films. So, it's, you could do it in a night, one sitting, right? You won't get tired. And yeah, just the final, like, 30 minutes are, like, really where it's at. Like, seriously. Again, I know I'm, like, not talking about it very much, but I genuinely think you guys should check it out. It's a great scene, great effects, and then, it ends with a bang. But yeah, I mean, just let me know, like, have you seen any of these movies? Like, what do you think about it? Like, yeah, but if you've never seen any, and here again, being the 8 film collection, if I had to recommend, let's say 3, right? Like 3 films, I'd say like 4, The Final Chapter, 6, Jason Lives, and then Part 7, A New Blood, is like my number 1 pick. And I know you're like, oh, why not number 1? But, the issues with that is, like, again, being the first, it was the most basic, most low budget. And, of course, when you're coming to Friday film, you expect Jason, the hockey mask, which you didn't get until 3. So Part 1, spoiler, but again, it's like a, 40-year-old movie at this point. Spoiler. It's the mother, Pamela Voorhees, who is the killer. Jason just is like a kid. He isn't the killer till Part 2, where he wears a sack. And again, Part 3 is where we get the iconic hockey mask. But yeah, that was just my thing. Just a short, sweet little video where I think Part 7 is the best Friday the 13th film to date. And yeah, I hope they make a new one soon. There's been a lot of legal issues with that. Supposedly it's getting resolved, but we'll see. It's one of the reasons why they stopped supporting the game, which, stay tuned for that. I got a great, cool video coming up for that. But, as always, I make new videos every Tuesdays and Saturdays. Stay tuned if you stuck around. Thank you. Truly appreciate it. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that good jazz. And as always, guys, I've been your host, Oxy. Have a happy Halloween.